Yo, what's up guys? It's Noah here, and in today's video, going to be talking through a couple player props I like on Prizepicks for tonight's NBA slate on Monday, April the 1st. We've got 6 games tonight, so a little bit of a mid-sized slate. Wanted to come on, give you guys some early props I did like for Monday's slate. I am recording this video on Sunday night. Typically don't do my videos the night before. As of late, I've been doing them the morning of. But I'm going to be gone Monday morning, not going to be able to make a video Monday morning, so I wanted to go ahead and get the video posted Sunday night. So I've got 3 plays I like for Monday's slate. Right now we have most of the props up. I think of the 6 games we have on Monday, I think 3 of the 6 games, there's props up for 3 of the 6 games available. So still plenty of options to choose from. Found 3 early picks I liked. So we're going to talk through these 3 plays, guys. We're going to share why I like them. Before we do get started, though, as always, if you guys do enjoy these Prizepicks videos, and if they do help you out, make sure you hit that like button down below. Hit that subscribe button if you have not yet. And if you guys are new to Prizepicks, and if you don't have an account over on Prizepicks, you can sign up, linked down below in the description, or just use that promo code NOAH. When you sign up for Prizepicks, get your first deposit matched up to $100. But yeah, we got 3 picks for Monday, guys. Let's go ahead and talk through these 3 plays. So the first prop we're going to take a look at is actually going to be a first half prop. So if you're new to Prizepicks, you can bet on a player's over/under for first half. Basically, what Prizepicks does is they cut the projection in half, and then you can take that and you can take more or less on that. And a lot of times, I like to do first half props if I think a game has blowout risk, but there's still a prop that I like to go over in that game. And the prop that I'm looking at is from the Blazers and Magic game. And we're going to look at Wendell Carter Jr. First half PRA of 9.5, and I like the over here, so more than 9.5 PRA for Wendell Carter Jr. If you do look at his full game PRA, that currently is set at 18.5. You could play that as well, but again, there's just a lot of blowout risk in this game. Like right now, this game has I think it's like a 15-point spread. Let's see. 16.5-point spread. So there's a very good chance Wendell Carter Jr. does not get a ton of run in the fourth quarter. He might not play at all in the fourth quarter, depending on if this game's competitive or not. So that's why I like first half here instead of the full game. But if you can't take first half for some reason and you want to take the over 18.5 PRA, I think that's fine. Just know that there's a little bit of risk with that because, again, Wendell Carter Jr. could lose minutes in the fourth quarter or not play at all in the fourth quarter, depending on if this game is competitive or not, which it's projected not to be. But let's talk through why I like this prop. So, for one, this is a really, really good matchup for Wendell Carter Jr. The Blazers lately have been terrible defensively, especially against the center position. They're top 5 in points allowed to centers this season. They've also been a bad rebounding team, giving up the 6th most rebounds per game to the center position. And then when it comes to assists allowed to centers, they've been about middle of the pack in that category. But facing the Blazers has been a very good matchup. Wendell Carter Jr., we typically see him play about, anywhere from 13 to 15 minutes in the first half. He typically plays about 26 to 28 minutes a night, and then he typically plays about 13 to 14 minutes in the first half. Just as of late in the first half, he has been going over this PRA line rather consistently. 10 out of his last 13 games, he's gone over this first half PRA line. And if you actually look at his full games, for his full game PRA, he's only gone over this once in his last 5 games, whereas with the first half, he's actually gone over in 3 out of 5. So this game against Golden State, he didn't go over the full game PRA, but he had 10 PRA in the first half. And then the game against Sacramento, same thing. He didn't go over the full game PRA, but he had 10 in the first half, which again is kind of why I like the first half line here. Wendell Carter Jr. has been going over this first half PRA line very consistently, 10 out of his last 13 games. The matchup's great here. One of the best matchups possible, honestly, for centers. The Blazers, they've just been getting killed around the rim this season. They've been getting killed in the paint. They give up a lot of points in the paint. And Wendell Carter Jr. is a big that can kind of stretch the floor. He can shoot threes, but he can also score around the rim, and the Blazers have really struggled there. I just like the matchup a lot here for Wendell Carter Jr., and because this game has a lot of blowout risk, that's why I'm taking the first half PRA here instead of full game. If you want to take full game, go ahead. Just know that there's a little bit more risk with that. So that's the first prop I like for tonight, guys, is Wendell Carter Jr. more than 9.5 PRA in the first half. And then the next play I like, we're actually going to be going to that, staying in that game. We're going to be looking at a PRA prop. So, we talked about how this game does have a lot of blowout risk. But if we look at this PRA prop, so Scoot Henderson, 28.5 PRA. I like the over here, and I like the over for the full game PRA, and we'll talk about why I like this. So Yeah, we took it over on Scoot a couple days ago. It was against Atlanta, and he did not play that well. Really struggled shooting the ball from the field. Shot like 6 for 16, and that's something that's Scoot has struggled with this season is his efficiency. Like he has not been a very not been a very efficient scorer. But he does get a lot of volume, and that's really what we want to bank on. Like if you look at last game against Miami, he scored 20 points, had 6 rebounds, 6 assists, shot the ball 18 times. So he had a really pretty good usage. His usage rate in that game was 27%, third most on the team. And he's going to continue to be able to just do whatever he wants when he's on the floor in terms of like scoring. He can go out there and just shoot the ball as much as he wants because this Blazers team, like they just don't have anyone right now. They're very injury depleted. They have pretty much mailed it in for the season. If we look at everyone who's out for Portland right now, no Anthony Simons. Jeremy Grant's doubtful, so he's not expected to play. Malcolm Brogdon's still out. They still don't have Shaedon Sharpe. They still don't have Robert Williams. Toumani Camara is also out. Matisse Thybulle's also out. And then Justin Minaya is doubtful, so he's not expected to play. Last game, the Blazers only had 10 available players, and it looks like that's going to be the case once again. And if you look at the rotations last game, Scoot Henderson led the team in minutes played, and that was a game where they got absolutely destroyed. They got blown out by Miami last game. If you look at the score to that game was, let's see, what was this final score? It was like 84 to 120 or something. Yeah, 84 to 142. So the Blazers lost by 60 last game, and Scoot Henderson still went over this PRA line because he played 41 minutes. They played him a ton. They played him even in the blowout. Miami didn't play any of their starters in the fourth quarter because the game was so out of hand. They did sub Patty Mills back in like halfway through the quarter, but like Bam Adebayo, Terry Rozier, Jimmy Butler, like none of those guys played in the fourth quarter. Well, Portland pretty much played Scoot the entire fourth quarter. They played Ray and Rupert almost the entire fourth quarter. Chris Murray got a bunch of run in the fourth quarter. Delano Benton played about half of the quarter. This Blazers team, like it seems like even though they're very likely to be getting blown out a lot, moving forward just because they have such a bad team, it seems like they're still going to try and kind of develop these younger guys. So like DeAndre Ayton last game only played 24 minutes, and I think that's something that could happen again if the Blazers come out and just get absolutely blown out here, which is a possibility. But it looks like they're kind of treating Scoot, like a just young guy, just let him play no matter what the score is. And if that's going to be the case, if Scoot can play in blowouts, he's going to probably play like 35, 36 minutes a night as long as he can stay out of foul trouble. Foul trouble has been an issue for Scoot at times this season. Like he's been in foul trouble in some of these games. This game against Atlanta, he got in some early foul trouble. I know this game against Denver, he was in foul trouble. But like last game, I think he avoided foul trouble. Yeah, he only had one foul last game, and he played 41 minutes. I don't think Scoot's going to play like 40 minutes every single night, but maybe he does. Like maybe the Blazers are just at that point where they're just like, let's just try and play these young guys as many minutes as we can, just see what we got in them. And if Scoot's going to go out there and play like 35, 36 minutes, and if he's going to play even in blowouts, I like his chances of going over 28.5 PRA, just especially, with the role he's going to have. This Blazers team is so depleted. Scoot's going to be a guy that's going to go out there and be able to shoot as much as he wants. He's going to handle the ball a ton, so he's going to have plenty of assist opportunities. It's really just going to come down to, for him, like getting assists. It's going to come down to if the Blazers can make shots. But like last game, Scoot had 17 potential assists. He only finished with 6 assists last game just because the Blazers were missing so many shots and Scoot had so many blown assists. Well, if this is a game where the Blazers come out and actually make shots, Scoot could rack up like double-digit assists here. I think he's definitely got potential to put up like 20 and 10, 20 points, 10 assists. Obviously, you can't bet that on like Prizepicks, but if you want to take that on like a sports book, I don't mind it because if the Blazers are going to play Scoot just a ton of minutes and if they're going to play him even in a blowout, he's got a ton of upside. The minutes should be there. Even if the game isn't competitive, it seems like they want to play him regardless. And I know the matchup against Orlando might not be the best. Orlando has been really good defensively this season, but they have been a good matchup for point guards. They are allowing in terms of points allowed to the point guard position, they're allowing like they're top 10 in points allowed to point guards this season. It seems like point guards have been able to have some success against Orlando. I think this is a decent spot for Scoot. I don't think it's like the worst matchup ever. They might get blown out again, but again, you look at last game, they lost by 60 and Scoot played 41 minutes. So if they're going to treat him that way, if they're going to play him, big minutes no matter what the score is, I like his chance of going over 28.5 PRA. If you're worried that Scoot could lose minutes for blowout, which I'm not super worried about, but if you're worried about that, you could look at his first half PRA. That line is currently at 14.5. Again, you could play that, but because Scoot played in the blowout last game, it seems like they want to do that moving forward. I like his full game PRA, knowing that he probably gets minutes in the fourth quarter no matter what the score is, especially with how depleted this Blazers team is right now. I mean, they don't have a ton of healthy players. So I like that as our second prop for tonight. Scoot Henderson, more than 28.5 PRA. And if you do look at this season, when Scoot has played at least 34 minutes, I was looking at what he's done when he's played like 35 minutes. When he's played at least 34 minutes this season, 10 games, he's played at least 34 minutes. He's gone over this PRA line in 7 out of those 10 games. So typically when he gets like 35 minutes, he's got a pretty good chance at 29 PRA. And assuming they're going to play him in the blowout, I think he's got a pretty good chance at 35 minutes here. So like that is our second prop. And then third and final prop I like, we're going to look at a points prop here. We're going to look at Micic's points prop. I'm not exactly sure how to say his first name. I think it's Vasil or Vasil. I don't know. But Vasil Micic, 12.5 points. Give me the under here. So less than 12.5 points for Micic. And let's talk through why I like this prop. So if you have a look at, or if you do look at his last 5 games, Micic has gone under this line in 5 straight, which obviously you feel good about. Last 5 games though, pretty irrelevant. Doesn't really matter too much. But let's talk through why I like this Micic under. So Micic, since he's been with the Hornets, he's kind of been, he's been like a lower usage player. He's not a guy that really has a big offensive game. He's not a guy that's going to take like a ton of shots. If you just look over his like last 10 games, he's had double-digit shot attempts in most of those games, but like he's never had really many games where he's shot the ball like 15 plus times. Since he's been with the Hornets and since he's been a starter, he has started 14 games with the Hornets and he's only took 15 shots in one of those games. Every other game, you have 14 or less shot attempts, and just over his last few games, he did have 14 shot attempts tonight against the Clippers, still only scored 10 points, but he only shot the ball 7 times against Golden State. Against Cleveland, he had 11 shot attempts. He only shot the ball 4 times this game against Cleveland. This game against Atlanta, only shot the ball 10 times. Over his last 10 games, he only has an 18.7% usage rate, which is 7th lowest on the team. So Micic is not a very he's not a bad scorer. Like I've watched him play before. He's a good shooter, but he's not a guy that really like looks to create his own offense. He's more of a facilitator. And when he's on the floor, he's not super aggressive offensively. And this matchup against Boston is probably one of the worst matchups possible. Boston, obviously, great defensive team. They're massive favorites here against the Hornets. The Hornets are on a back-to-back. This game has a 17.5 point spread. And we just talked about how, Scoot Henderson, I don't know for sure, but I think probably plays even in a blowout. That's probably not going to be the case for Micic. I was looking at, some of their recent blowouts, and their most recent blowout that Charlotte was involved in was against Atlanta. This game against Atlanta on March 23rd, they lost by like 40 to Atlanta. And looking at Micic's his rotations, he subbed out with about 3 minutes left in that game, and then they brought in Armani Bailey and Nick Smith Jr. So it doesn't seem like Micic is gonna get blowout run. So if this game does get out of hand, I do expect Micic to lose minutes. And obviously this is a game that has a massive blowout risk, with it being a 17.5 point spread. You would think Boston, the much better team here, comes out and probably beats the crap out of Charlotte. We don't know if that's going to happen. Seems like whenever I take an under in a game thinking there's going to be a blowout, it usually never happens. But man, the blowout risk here is massive. Micic probably would lose minutes in a blowout. The matchup is very tough as well. And Micic, he's just not that big of an offensive player. He's not a guy that's going to go out there and take a ton of shots. He's kind of a lower usage player. He's gone under this line now in 5 straight games. He's actually gone under this in 9 out of 14 games he has started with the Hornets. And I think he's under in like 6 out of his last 7 games as well. Let me see. Yeah, like 6 out of his last 7 games he's gone under this points prop. So all that factored in, plus looking at some sportsbook odds, DK had this prop, minus 125 favoring the under. You check all those boxes, the tough matchup, the blowout risk, Micic's usage being fairly low, not a guy that takes a ton of shots, and with DK Sportsbook favoring the under here, all that makes me like the under on 12.5 points for Micic. So these are our 3 props for tonight, guys. Wendell Carter Jr., more than 9.5 first half PRA. Scoot Henderson, more than 28.5 PRA. And Micic, less than 12.5 points. So that's what I got for tonight, guys. 3 early props I'm liking for this Monday slate. If you guys are going to be tailing me with these 3 picks, let's hopefully hit all 3 of these plays and make some money tonight. I appreciate you guys watching these Prizepicks videos. As always, hit that like button down below if you did enjoy. Hit that subscribe button if you have not yet. And as always, guys, if you don't have an account over on Prizepicks, you can sign up, linked down below in the description, or just use that promo code NOAH. When you sign up for Prizepicks, get your first deposit matched up to $100. But good luck tonight, guys. Thanks for watching as always. We'll see you in the next video.